Welcome, everybody. I'm Jabby Kuwait, joined by Steps Bra.
Hello.
What up, bro?
What up?
This is my first time properly looking at a CinemaSins video. And with Ant-Man coming out, I thought, what a great video to do. Everything wrong with Ant-Man in 19 minutes or less is the name of this whole thing. So you guys, thanks so much for joining us. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this sucker up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching while you're subscribing and upvoting. Subscribe to CinemaSins. Probably have already. And also follow Steps Bra on the social media. Links in the description below. Thanks so much for joining. Here we go. Oh gosh.
CGI DH Michael Douglas is giving CGI DH Jeff Bridges from Tron 2 a run for his CGI DH money.
If only you'd protected Janet with such ferocity.
This sounds like a terribly mean thing to say to a guy who lost his wife, but realize that he's only trying to give exposition to the audience.
I thought the CGI de-aging on Michael Douglas looked fantastic. I'll just try to keep my interjections short.
You've already lied to him. Now you want to go to war with him.
Yes.
Wait, where the f*** did your bloody nose go? 26-second Marvel logo
I
can
didn't
go
even catch
f***
that.
itself. Movie needs to tell you this is the present.
That was quick. 26-second logo. It is pretty bombastic, you know? Those logos have gotten quite egregious.
Yeah.
The only time I was accepting of it was with Wakanda Forever, where I was like, you can make this as long as you want.
That one was awesome.
Movie needs to tell you this is the present day because honestly, Paul Rudd looks the same now as he did back in the day.
Facts.
Oh, I'm serious, man. I'm not going back. I got a daughter to take care of.
Did you not have that same daughter to take care of before you went to prison? Because the only way you didn't is if you only served like 5 months or some which I doubt, since that would make you like a small-time felon who I shouldn't feel that sorry for.
Welcome to Baskin Robbins. Would you like to try our mango fruit blast?
Baskin-Robbins accepted this product placement/insult on behalf of their underpaid employees. At first glance, this all looks ordinary and normal, but then you notice the boss apparently rides a motorcycle, the Employee of the Month plaque is kept hanging above the boss's personal sink, the microwave on the shelf here is not plugged in, or else it would be displaying the time or flashing 12 o'clock right now,
boy.
and I'm pretty sure that's a rubber chicken right next to the microwave. Then you start to notice like this near the bottom shelf, which contains a metal bucket, a huge decorative wicker ball, and what looks like a pumpkin-shaped candle holder. And starts getting weird. And I haven't even gotten to his bald spot or the two obvious Fantastic Four Silver Surfer posters near the doorway. Movie makes a huge...
All right, so set decorators are just trying to fill the frame sometimes.
Yeah.
It's that simple. They're just trying to put stuff in to make it look like there's things there.
I really do think that's how men decorate, though.
Maybe.
Not all.
I think decorate is a very, very generous
Yes.
word. I think it's just like, we'll put this here for
Fill.
now. And for now, just becomes forever.
huge joke out of his master's in electrical engineering, which buys him a job at fucking Baskin-Robbins, which is some total fucking bullshit. Look, this is 2015. Even with a prison record, if you are some kind of uber genius, there is definitely a job for you out there better than fast food. If you at least look for it for more than one day.
I got fired.
Damn, they find out who you are?
Why did you lie to Baskin-Robbins about your criminal past? You lied to Merrill Lynch about your criminal past, not fucking Discount Dairy Queen.
Baskin-Robbins always finds out, bro.
While I'm laughing, I'd like to point out that his buddy Luis knew Scott was going to work for Baskin-Robbins and somehow didn't tell him this age-old adage of Baskin-Robbins always finds out.
That's Kurt. He was Folsom for 5 years.
He also did a stretch at Arkham Asylum, making him one of the few people to survive a DC Marvel lockup crossover.
I just realized that too.
Job. Yes, no, I have heard of this robbery.
I'm not sure you've heard that accent anywhere, though.
And what does he do? He hacks into the security system and transfers millions back to the people that they stole it from.
And just like that, all complexity in Ant-Man's character is erased by some after-the-fact noble backstory reason bullshit. Also, in an attempt to make sure we're not rooting for a dirty thief, movie makes Scott out to be a Robin Hood type, where his crime was simply to punish an even bigger crime.
Little perfect job.
No way.
Supposed friends try to get just released from prison guy to do more crime cliche. Movie tries to digitize modern-day Stan Lee onto Michael Douglas's body. Holy shit, that's really Michael Douglas, isn't it?
Wait, what? I missed something.
An event.
He didn't even bother explaining it.
Oh, y'all are going to be in World War II?
He didn't even bother explaining it. I guess it's the quality of the footage. I think that's why it was funny.
Oh.
Because it's like they always do this enhanced kind of thing, especially if that was like 8mm. There's no way that detail's going to be retained.
Right.
Maybe that's why he thought it was funny. I'm overthinking this,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Whoa, roll credits. But dude, you're gonna have to lube us up before you go right into a silly name like that. At least describe it as a man the size of an ant before naming it, which should have been somewhere around the 1 hour mark, and should have at least entertained the idea of small soldier before discovering the copyright infringement.
Propaganda. Tales to astonish.
Hardy har.
Capable of altering the size of the wearer for the ultimate combat advantage.
Why is size of an ant the ultimate combat advantage? Come to think of it, why did you waste any time on this research instead of research to make humans 10 times larger?
That's true.
an all-purpose peacekeeping
But you can
vessel.
sneak in, I
The
guess.
Yellow
Yeah.
Jacket can manage any conflict on
I'm going to guess the guy who did the voiceover for this Yellow Jacket video was immediately murdered for having knowledge about the Yellow Jacket.
Oh, sure.
efficient in both preventative measures
This is a super huge CGI motion graphics presentation that had to have been in production for weeks with a huge team of people. And yet this announcement is still somehow a surprise to everyone here except the guy making it.
and the elimination of obstructions on the road to peace.
Even industrial videos know that when the goes down, it goes down on the Golden Gate Bridge.
I think I found a guy.
Cue our unlikely hero in some hilarious situation. A kid's birthday party. You might expect me to send Scott for giving this fucking horrific rabbit death doll to his daughter, but I'm instead going to send the fact that anyone would give this fucking thing as a gift to anyone else. What the actual
You can't just show
I don't
up
remember
here.
that.
You waste the awesomeness
you
of
don't.
Judy Greer in a thankless role cliche.
You're her hero, Scott.
He is? Hasn't he been in prison for 3 years? Isn't she like 5? How does she even remember him, much less make a hero out of him? This is how far the technology is at this point? You're trying to sell this already? Can't we have one bad guy who has all the tech in place before he comes out of the closet as evil? Also, movie rips off the crazy science guy, kills...
Hey, ambition just gets the better of you, and you start making moves, writing checks you can't cash.
Yeah.
So, just do it.
military funding guy before he can shut down the super soldier experiments thing from Spider-Man.
Goodbye, Frank.
Frank Flushing. I just shrunk somebody into a tiny pile of goo face. Okay, I appreciate that the point of this budget sheet is to show how committed he is to doing what it takes to see his daughter again. But I can't let this slide. He's making $72 a month, but his expenses are only $30? Raise your hand if you can live on $30 expenses a month. Go on. I'll wait. I said go on. Also, with an income of $72 a month, these rent-based numbers over here on the left are pure fantasy, right? I don't see how he hopes to see his daughter in 377 days using these figures. More like never.
So, he tells me that she's working as a housekeeper now, right?
This part is ridiculously awesome. We will remove one sin because this seems like exactly the type of thing Edgar Wright would have done had he stayed on the project. This movie just got way more Italian job than I think it meant to. Wait, you think it meant to? Well, now that's even worse, isn't it? My favorite thing about Ant-Man is that the 2-hour movie had time for the Scott delivers waffles to the hacker guy scene. I fucking love that scene, man. Thank God this master thief is also a master chemist, or else this would be a short-ass movie.
Oh, man.
No alarms have been triggered.
Scott found all this.
I mean, presumably, if he's a master thief, he would know a couple of things about chemistry to break into stuff.
It would only make sense. You have to be a utilitarian. As a master thief myself, I know 1 or 2 things about chemistry, physics.
He's a master thief. All he knows how to do is break down a door.
Yeah, he just uses a bobby pin.
He knows how to break through a window. That's it.
Stuff he needed in Hank's house to make a fingerprint and get inside the vault in 5 minutes. Okay, so far this movie is MacGyver breaking Ocean's 11 bad. This is the kind of crime where I would immediately look for the guy who has a master's in electrical engineering, was recently released from prison for theft, and stays in an apartment with his former cellmate. Now, we find out this is all set up by Hank anyway, but even if it wasn't, it's amazing Scott doesn't take the steps to make this look a little more amateurish.
It's a bust.
After going through 2 high-security vaults, Scott's ready to declare this a bust without checking for secret rooms or hidden floors or really anything else in this place.
Sanitize the workstation, bring in subject 35C.
Why would you immediately bring in another test subject after this last one failed? Don't you need more research? Isn't this like a chemical you're trying to make, requiring lots of lab time? Or is this guy so evil he's just killing animals for no good reason now? Hero looks into a mirror and wonders what the f*** is up with himself, cliche. Hey, why doesn't he just hit that button again and grow large? Any reason? Scott falls and
Because it's
hits
right on
these
top
rusty
of him.
pipes, which do not break, but he does break through the ceiling of a nightclub, no problem. He survives all this crap. Garrett Morris makes a cameo as cab driver in this scene, and he gets to say one line.
What the hell?
Exactly, Garrett Morris. Exactly.
I don't understand.
No, I don't expect you to.
Because I'm only going to give you 10% of the information, and the movie's barely a quarter of the way in. Wait a minute, how does this translate into this chick telling this guy that Hank has a safe and someone could break into it? Did Hank approach her and tell her, one day there will be some money in your car? You know what to do from there. Also, of course, the idea that this ends up working is absurd, but I'm sending the fact that Hank is able to mastermind this just before this asshole Darren cracks the shrinking code. With the world in the balance, you'd think he'd need to be more direct than hoping some mad game of telephone is going to end up landing the guy he needs to break into Pym Technologies.
It's fun.
Geez, why not give him a little more time to break out than this? You could do this almost any time, right? Besides, getting into this suit in less than 10 seconds? No way.
Is that a camera on an ant?
Hey, that's my line.
His name is 247?
He doesn't have a name, he has a number, Scott. Do you have any idea how many ants there are?
Millions, I'm guessing, if not billions, which makes it even more remarkable that he's somehow riding an ant with such a low number as 247 to begin with. Definitely no ants in this shot, but voila! Total ant party when Scott tries to get out of the bed. Tiny ants here to serve as secret service to Scott. Hey, does the movie ever try to explain how a guy who invented shrinking technology somehow managed to bond with literally the entire global ant population? It doesn't? Wonderful!
Scott, I've been watching you for a while. ever since he robbed Mr. Corp.
Like Gandalf, Hank somehow thought he'd need a burglar for this job. And even though he's got full access to the building through his daughter, and nearly any trustworthy person could have put on the Ant-Man suit to do what he needed, he decided to have a burglar tryout, which required 100 things to go right before it could proceed.
But how do you make them do that?
I use electromagnetic waves to stimulate their olfactory nerve center.
Oh. Over a minute and a half of pure, raw, unadulterated exposition.
So he conspired against me and he voted me out of my own company.
How could he do that?
The board's chairman is my daughter, Hope.
Hope doesn't seem to be the I make business decisions based on my personal feelings type, but then again, I guess I'm supposed to know 43 years of Ant-Man history before I watch this movie. Silly me.
Scott, I believe that everyone deserves a shot at redemption.
That's why I went looking for my partner in crime amongst the existing criminals, as opposed to Olympic athletes, stuntmen, martial arts experts, professional athletes, or even regular people who haven't committed a crime.
The premise is a little silly. I go along with it anyway because it's fun. You know, like when you look at something like Michael Bay's Armageddon, premise is so stupid, but it's fun. We'll get a bunch of oil riggers to go on a rock and blow it up in half so it doesn't, collide with Earth. That's the most insane proposition ever, but it's fun. It's got someone with heart.
Darren Cross is a dick to tiny baby sheep that used to be normal sized. I honestly can't believe I just wrote that sentence.
I think our first move should be calling the Avengers.
Yeah, but getting all the actors to do an Avengers movie isn't cost effective, even though it makes total sense in reality. And oh yeah, Scott would be amazing at CinemaSins. Also, this is funny, but he's also right, which serves to only exacerbate the movie's weaknesses, as opposed to providing a moment of levity combined with a decent explanation why Ant-Man is on his own in this movie.
This is not some cute technology like the Iron Man suit.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Besides, they're probably too busy dropping cities out of the sky.
It's actually Ultron who does that, Hank, but nice inside joke, I guess.
If you have a car accident, the insurance company goes, were you in the car accident? This happened to me recently. I got hit. I had to pay for the damage to my car, and they said, well, we'll argue with the other insurance company, whatever. I didn't win, even though I wasn't at fault. I had to pay like $1,000 out of pocket for something I didn't do. And then you have enough of those incidences, now you're looked at as problematic. Even though you're not at fault, there's something with you. And so I can see it from Hank's perspective of like, they're not doing things the best way possible so as to avoid a city being dropped from the sky. But yes, he's right. CinemaSins is right. It was Ultron who did that.
But the Avengers did do a lot of things leading up to, that's why Civil War happened.
I think I don't want to. I can't. Spend years wearing it. It took a toll on me.
That doesn't mean you can't put it on one last time and save the world, right? You're not doing it yourself because of psychological issues. Also, thanks for fucking telling me after I've worn the suit several times, ass.
Charge big. You dive small, then you emerge big.
Why would you ever need to do that? Is that something that he'll specifically have to do in a short amount of time during this heist? Why can't he simply stay small the whole time? And then here's a montage of him running into a door a bunch. Isn't this as simple as pressing a button to turn small?
You've learned about the suit, but you've yet to learn about your greatest allies.
He's learned about the suit? Last time we checked, like a dick, this guy couldn't even charge big, dive small, and emerge big.
Learn about your greatest allies. The ants.
But why? Just because you're small like them? Aren't you also small like fleas, flies, ticks, mites, bedbugs, and a host of other insects? The only reason ants are involved here is because some asshole named this soup thing Ant-Man. And that's f***ing it. Movie definitely turns into Honey, I Shrunk the Kids here.
They established even in this video that there's a connection with the waves, whatever the science, where he's able to talk to the ant.
Also, ants work as a collective as opposed to some of the other creatures he listed. And ants can hold like
8 times their own weight or something stupid.
Something crazy.
Yeah.
Sit around the clock. We'll need you to take them out to deactivate the security systems.
Or, now stay with me, you could just be a small bastard, walk in there, and deactivate the security system without doing any harm.
The tube is protected by a laser grid, and we can...
Does it seem like the exact same blueprint to the Death Star from Star Wars?
Yes, and that's why it's cool.
Blue enlarges.
What? If you can shrink or enlarge anything you want, why does this movie have any conflict, dude?
Our focus should be on helping Scott.
Really? Is that where our focus should be?
Well, you keep the father-daughter conflict vague enough, I promise not to care about it. Deal?
I don't know why I came to you in the first place.
Neither do I. It seems like you have more than enough power at Pym to sabotage Cross from within.
Think about Cassie, about how badly you want to see her, and use that to focus.
Apparently, the techniques of method acting will make the mind control ant thing work.
I knew I had to shrink between the molecules to disarm the missile.
You mean you didn't have any technology to shrink and enlarge a bomb or something that could destroy the missile before it got to its target?
That's actually a very, very good question, because they just showed a moment ago them tossing the discs that can enlarge things or whatever. Presumably, you'd have an item you could toss at it to make it go small.
Yeah.
Like infinitely small, and find Kang the Conqueror.
involve shrinking between molecules. Also, how did you catch up to this missile as an ant? And even if you could, it seems like any fighter jet could have been called out to immediately fly out to this location and blow this thing out of the air. Also, amazing Hank finally tells Hope the truth after all these years, right after Scott told her that the whole reason her dad didn't want her in the suit was because he didn't want to lose her. Furthermore, this is some truth that did not need to remain a secret for any reason other than a dramatic reveal an hour into the movie.
But why didn't you tell me that sooner? I was trying to protect you.
Good God, here's the I was trying to protect you bullshit in another movie. Protect her from what? Loving you? Does he think by telling her what happened she'd try to replicate it? Ooh, my mom went subatomic. Sounds awesome. When can I try it? And considering Hank locked his suit in a vault somewhere, when was she ever going to try it anyway?
Speed, go!
Look, I don't doubt that a squad of ants could jump out of a plane at this altitude and land anywhere near... Wait, no, I actually totally doubt that.
We might have a
What?
problem.
Why?
You didn't see the Avengers logo until now, dickbat. Ah yes, now we come to the whole reason why this scene was included, for more Avengers tie-ins. Everyone's sitting around thinking, you know what, we need to prove that Ant-Man is in the same universe as the Avengers. How do we do that? Sure, we can put some cheeky dialogue in, but we really need to see Ant-Man interact with, I don't know, let me throw this dart. Falcon! Also, thank God Falcon is in this movie to completely legitimize it with the rest of the Marvel Universe. I mean, could you imagine?
He can see me.
Wow, Scott does this without the expectation of immediately getting his ass kicked. And he's right. Falcon has apparently never tried to kill an ant by stomping on it before. Especially in grass, this was doomed from the start. It gets to the point that these suits are so Marvel branded, so much the same, that neither of these characters look any different from one another. I see that Falcon has the technology to see small things up close, but I don't know how this dude keeps immediately finding the exact place where they're flying in order for it to work.
It's really important to me that Cap never finds out about this.
Haha, isn't he a card? No, seriously, watch Captain America Civil War coming to a theater near you. Also, where the f*** is everyone else Avengers related that after beating Falcon,
That is a
Ant-Man
good
able to
question.
just do as he pleases? Are they like Congress and they all just go home?
What this is reminding me is that with Marvel movies, a lot of times you just can't ask questions. You just focus on what it wants you to focus on and enjoy the ride.
Exactly.
And if you don't, get off the ride. It's that simple.
Then maybe Marvel's not for you, and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, but this is what CinemaSins does.
Yeah,
like that's their shtick. You know, they go in hard on,
Of course.
asking every question they possibly could.
Seems like that would have been the first thing he did once he got here. But nah, this works better.
Hey, how about the fact that I fought an Avenger and didn't die?
Well, you fought Falcon, who's technically an Avenger, yes, but like, the way that Hawkeye is an Avenger. You feel me?
That's mean.
Left the front door open, Hank.
Well, sure. Any open door means come right in and be a creepy bastard, sure.
All those years ago, you picked me.
How's that a cinema sin?
What did you say?
Midichlorians?
There's something you guys need to see.
Something that took 10 seconds while I was in prison will now take long enough that all of you are in an entirely different conversation by the time I get back. You know, I used to hate you, but now I like you. Sarcastic quip. Mutual admiration confirmed. Goodbye. How to scare your daughter and possibly blow your cover in 10 seconds. The Italian Impossible 11. Scar isn't telling Luis to shut the hell up in this scene.
Hey, what are you doing?
Do you think I'm not going to send a local Nashville actor whom I've met and joked with and managed to make it into this big budget movie playing an asshole security guard who isn't very good at his job? You're dead wrong, everyone. Take that, Jesse James. You've been sinned. Awesome.
I didn't
but
get that
how
joke.
many ants are dead or dying below the surface to make this scene possible? Do we care? Of course not.
They're all right.
This plan presupposes no one will be in the bathroom, will ever come into the bathroom and not notice this giant ant infestation.
That's Pym.
Considering you guys have been looking for Pym since this morning, and he hasn't exactly been hiding, why didn't you come and knock on his door?
No!
Wait, did T.I. just drive this car around within running and chasing distance the whole time? Did he basically drive around giving them hope they could catch it on foot? This guy celebrates too hard and draws the attention of the very cops he just tried to distract. Too many seconds of this cartoon laser light show posing as a thrilling fight sequence.
Setting the charges.
Examples of things Hank could have done to save his wife from shrinking between the molecules. Jesus, how did he get to that spacebar? Remember when the cops came in? Well, that's where the computer is, and it's facing the other way. Yet, this 100-pound weakling is able to struggle enough with the cop outside to hit that spacebar just in time.
Drop your gun.
Delivering lines this way. Why did the enlarging blue discs work to break the...
Savage. Drop.
I'm going to be completely transparent and honest. He's saying so many things, it sort of becomes a little bit monotonous at a certain point. But then he'll hit me with this like unexpected gem, and I'm like, what the f? Like, why did she say it like that? Drop your gun.
Drop your gun.
Delivering lines this way.
So
Why did the enlarging blue discs work to break the glass, but he couldn't just expand his suit to normal size to do it? Deus Ant Machina. Tank and its occupants.
Surprise, element of surprise.
Oh look, they used that enlarging fairy dust magic to make a tank, clearly illustrating my point about how little conflict there should be in a movie with this kind of technology. That means the two guys we saw getting arrested and are probably responsible for all this stuff going down at Pym Tech somehow managed to get out of the handcuffs and back into the getaway van. Can a bullet even hit an ant? Wouldn't like wind and aerodynamics just slide the ant out of the way? No?
Ah.
Oh, and also, oh no, they killed Anthony. I almost cared about him that one time with the things that happened.
If you're going to ask questions about the bullet pushing the ant out of the way, there's so many other questions to be asked about the physics in the movie that don't make any sense.
Right.
You know, which is what we talked about in our pitch meeting reaction. So
I guess those bombs were supposed to make this building implode like Poltergeist? And it's the moment you've been waiting for when two adversaries fight each other with basically the same technology. It's Iron Man and Incredible Hulk all over again. Yeehaw! Now I have no clue what's going on, but at least there's a Cure soundtrack. How is Cross suddenly a droid at fighting in this suit when he only recently perfected his technology?
Freeze! Put your hands up!
Yeah, they were following the helicopter a minute ago, but it went into a crazy tailspin, and Ant-Man and Yellowjacket fell while inside a briefcase, which they did not know contained two tiny Marvel properties. So that they knew where to go was some bullshit is all. No problem can't be solved with electricity. I realize he's probably mad at Scott to some degree, but he's clearly a wanted fugitive now. Why is exacting personal revenge on Scott more important to him than fleeing and still selling this one suit to the evil warlords?
Not just me!
Where the f*** did these ants come from? The Thomas the Tank Engine sequence is great, but really only serves to tease what a full Edgar Wright Ant-Man would have been like. Lots of CGI ants were harmed in the making of this scene.
Show you just how insignificant you are.
Why is it when someone becomes a full-blown villain, their brain goes into full taunt mode? I love how once this ant gets giant, he's like, fuck this helping the tiny human bullshit. I'm gonna go find some fruit.
Freeze! SFPD!
You might as well have walked in and said, balls resting on my chin, and it would have made just as much sense. Does this look like a guy who's gonna be stopped with your standard issue cop gun?
I'm gonna have to shrink.
that is a good question. That's never really properly addressed. You see this kind of thing all the time in movies where like the hero beats up like 40 dudes. Number 41 comes running in to fight also. I'm like, did you not see how he just like wrecked 40 of your buddies and you're still gonna try to fight him?
You just say stop.
Yeah, it's like logic just kind of goes out the window because action. And like a cop doing that makes no sense. But what else are you gonna have in this scene? You know, I mean, what else could have happened? He's about to, and he's just like, never mind.
It's like, whoa,
Yeah, I'm out.
Can you just wait 1 second?
Yeah.
Get in there.
My question is the whole suit made of titanium? I know the back of it is, but surely much of the rest of the suit is some sort of stretchy material. Why doesn't he tear through that and punch him in the dick several times?
Oh no.
What do you mean, oh no? You knew what you were getting into before you stupidly decided to do this. Hero gets butterfingers and almost loses the crucial widget cliche. Yeah, but if you can't make the regulator work while it's down here, how can you make the disc work too? If the regulator shuts down because you're tinier than an atom, then doesn't this also malfunction?
That's her.
That's how you get ants. Wait.
Look at the girl I'm with. You know what I'm saying? She's crazy stupid fine, right? And the bartenders are all like, yeah, crazy stupid fine.
Removing Stan Lee's audio from his cameos is half the battle.
What?
So there was a secret room in this vault, complete with a keypad, but I guess Scott didn't notice it because there is clearly no f***ing keypad on this wall. And just in case you weren't excited about the Avengers 3, I mean Captain America Civil War, here's a mini teaser that basically says, hey, this movie is coming out. Thanks for waiting through 7 minutes of credits for us to tell you that which you already knew.
You know, I always tell myself there's got to be something better out there, but maybe I think too much.
I don't know if I agree with a number of those sins. This is a jacuzzi. Like, I say whatever I want, but like some of those were just like tacked on. I felt like just to like increase the numbers. But I mean, the whole thing is fun in the sense of being the super highly pessimistic guy about a movie that's supposed to be kind of check your brain at the door and just go along for the emotional and visual ride.
Oh yeah, they did do that.
Yeah.
Didn't bother me, still doesn't, but nice call.
Yeah. I mean, some of the holes he's pointing out is in every single Marvel movie.
Right.
And so at this point, if you're watching Ant-Man and you're annoyed about these things, you just should not be watching Marvel movies because it's always there. I remember watching Thor: The Dark World, I think, is when this first occurred to me, which is like, where is everyone else? It's an end of the world situation and no one's showing up. At that point, you learn as the audience, it's like, because it's not their story.
Yeah.
It's just not focused on them.
Yeah.
You know, if the writer, director, producers, filmmakers want them in the story, they'll be there. Otherwise, don't think about it.
Yeah, it's too hard when you're having an ensemble cast, especially like Thor: Dark World, because that was so much like before they had these other phases planned out.
But I mean, it was in the throes of it, you know, or in the process of.
Yeah.
I think Avengers, the first Avengers movie, had already happened by that point.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but the point is, it's like, so what? But there were some things in there that were fun, for sure. Like, put your gun down or whatever she said.
Drop your God.
Yeah, it's just a bit much. Like, come on. The whole heist element, I actually appreciated that. The thing is, I mean, it's like, it doesn't need to be that way, but it's just fun.
It's fun.
You know, it's the motion. You're going with it, you know? You could just do missionary the entire time. You don't have to change it up, but you just do because it's fun. You don't start asking questions. Why is my leg in this awkward position? Shut up, it's fun. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm Jabby Coy. This is
Steps to Bra.
Peace out.